Hey everyone, it's Riley. Thanks for coming back and watching another video with Paper Boys. This week we're talking about, have we ever faced discrimination in housing or employment? With discrimination, it's really hard to know exactly if you're being discriminated or not, because you could be released from a job for other reasons, but you may think it's because you're trans, or you may be treated this one way because you think you're trans or you're gay, but it could be something else, and no one's going to probably admit either way which one it is, so it can be very difficult to know if you're truly being discriminated against. So I've had two experiences recently with my job, and one was negative and one was positive. My negative experience recently was that I was working at a job and I started out not out, which was a huge mistake. And over time I got really tired of being called a woman and a lady. So I went ahead and told my boss that I'm trans and I prefer to use he, him as my pronouns. And I really trusted her. I felt like she would be a good person to tell, but I didn't really want her to tell anyone else on staff. I kind of just wanted to tell them on my own and see how that went, but I just kind of wanted to start with her and make sure she was on board. So one day when I was working, I had someone come up to me and ask me if they said, hey, I heard blah 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 call you a woman, and I heard that you want to be called a man. Do you want me to go correct them? And I was really shocked and kind of hurt that my boss shared this knowledge, but I found out later that I think it was pretty accidental, and she never did it to hurt me. I think she was actually trying to help me. But it did kind of bother me because I did ask her to keep it secret. I don't know if that's discrimination or not, but that's the only issue I've really run into with being trans at work. So I've actually had a lot of trouble recently with being a au pair. An au pair is someone from another country who lives with a family and takes care of their kids. Or sometimes they don't live with the family and they just kind of come in like a babysitter. And I have a lot of experience with kids. I have 2 teaching degrees. I've worked with kids for over 10 years, and I find it's really hard for me to find a au pair position sometimes. And again, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's discrimination or if they're just better candidates that have more experience than me. I highly doubt it because I'm a lot older. Some of these au pairs are only 18 and I'm 29. But I also don't want to blame it on the fact that I'm trans. So it's just kind of hard to know, but I've kind of given up with that because I've had so many issues, and I've actually had people tell me that they're not comfortable having someone who is trans live in their home. So it's not a good industry anyway. Right now I have 4 weeks left in Australia, and I might start crying, so I don't want to talk about it, but I'm applying for jobs back in the US, and I'm from Kansas, so that's not really a super open-minded area. And I've applied to a few jobs in a school district, and I used to work at this high school and they're really great, but I wasn't sure how I would approach the trans issue because I actually used to work there, and when I worked there I was Miss Long, and now it's only been a couple years later, so I didn't know how everyone would deal with that. I went ahead and applied for the job recently, and within like a day I got a call from the principal saying, yes, we definitely want you back, that's great. And I said, awesome. I mean, if you didn't notice, I'm using a different name now, and I've marked male as my gender on my application, so I just want you to know that I'm out as trans now, and I want to make sure that's okay. And I wanted to say that right away. You know, get it right on the table. She gave me the best response ever. She said, we're totally fine with that, with you being trans. There's multiple kids in the high school that are actually out as trans, and we will have no problem with you using whatever pronouns and whatever name makes you most comfortable. And I was just so happy. I think it was kind of an easy way for this to all happen because they already know that I'm a hard worker and they know me personally, so it didn't cause any concerns, and I didn't really have to come out to someone that I didn't know. But at the same time, that could have been bad because they're used to me being a certain way. But I'm just really happy that I'm going to be able to start this new job as an out trans man and not have any issues, hopefully no issues at this school. That's all I have for this edition of Paper Boys. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you all next week. Have a wonderful week. Bye.